Instagram Live effectively hates me because it keeps shutting down my Instagram Lives. So here we are. We'll try this again. This will be the third time trying to record this one. So thank you for your patience. I'm going to try to shorten it up because maybe it's just from a length perspective, a little bit too much, right? So with this week's Learn with Flow topic, I wanted to jump on here on this Sunday for a couple different reasons. One, this Sunday at 11 a.m. time is going to be when we're going to be going live inside the Master Your Metabolism container. So if you're signing up, or if you've signed up already, or you're sitting on your hands and waiting to sign up for our Master Your Metabolism course, which goes live on January 7th, our very first live call will be that Sunday at 11 a.m. Central Time. So you'll get used to seeing my beautiful face during that time within that container for that functional nutrition 6-week reset. So if you haven't signed up for Master Your Metabolism yet, make sure you do that because we kick off here in the next couple weeks. And the second reason why I wanted to join live was because I had some technology glitches trying to get this one recorded. And so we're going to try one more time and just hit you from the front of this topic around the 7 foundations of hormonal balance. That is the big topic item that we want to be discussing this week, only because in a lot of the conversations I've had recently, even with some fellow colleagues, we've been seeing, and we were talking about really like the trends of the direction where health and wellness is going in 2024, right? That's something that's always interesting to kind of see what's up and coming and the direction of the field in general. And one of the unfortunate parts that a lot of us are noticing, and I think a lot of even my clients have noticed as well too, is this world of what we consider like greenwashed functional medicine. Really just a fancy way of saying individuals going in and thinking that they're getting a true functional or alternative or holistic medicine care. And really it's not. It's just another template, cookie cutter approach, a pill for every ill model that resembles some of the conventional model, but utilizing some functional modality tools. So some quick examples of this that I've kind of seen is individuals who come in and I sit down with them and want to talk to them about their experiences so far and asking, what type of practitioners have you worked with? What types of things have you tried for a lot of the symptoms that you're talking about today, or kind of what brings you in? And a lot of them have either gone to, they're like, oh yeah, I work with I'm really into, functional medicine practitioners, or I went to my chiropractor and he put me on all of these supplements. I'm like, okay, that's not like functional medicine. Like we know that, right? Or, I, went to this hormone clinic and they tested my hormones, put a pellet in me and said goodbye. And I saw him 6 months later. I'm like, okay, none of those things are really like functional, alternative, holistic medicine. And why? Why is because they are not giving you the foundations of your soil first. And what I mean by that is kind of going back to this plant analogy, right? We as humans, we are plants. Whether you want to believe it or not, it's like we're very, very similar in the same regard. We're going to display external symptoms, right? Just like a plant where their leaves shrivel up or things get dry, branches fall off, the bark starts to fall off of a tree. And the second we start to see some of those external things, either in ourselves or in the plant, the invitation is not to slap a Band-Aid on it and hope it goes away, right? The invitation is asking what's not working from the soil. And that's taking a sample of the soil, taking a sample of the environment. What are we looking at that's deficient or toxic as part of the soil or the environment as a whole, right? So keeping in line with this analogy, this is where I'm so passionate about helping individuals understand that as you're navigating this world of your own health, there's lots of different information out there. And trust me, none of us need like more information. What we need is help applying that information. We need simple systems that help us navigate what's important to us. How can we start to filter that information through our lens of what's important for me and my individual body and my unique soil, right? So when we're thinking about the foundational stuff that needs to happen, number one first, before we're talking about like, don't ask the question of like, oh, what fancy supplements do I need? What hormones do I need? What peptides do I need? What prescriptions do I need? It's like, those are all great, awesome questions, but that's not the first question we should be asking. The first question we should be asking is, what is deficient about my soil? How can I correct the environment and the soil first so that anything that I put in on top of that has a good soil to land on, right? Otherwise, we're just playing whack-a-mole medicine. And I kind of think about like those splash pads at the park where like the water comes up out of the different holes, right? And really what ends up happening is like, oh, we have like high cholesterol here. I'm going to put a Band-Aid on that hole. But really the inflammation still exists. I didn't fix the problem of why the cholesterol was high. So now this one's spurting up. So now I'm going to put a blood pressure medicine on top of that one. And oh, now the inflammation showed up over here. Here, let's put some hormones on top of that one because your testosterone is low. It's like, people, it's the same problem showing up across the board in multiple different systems, right? So when we go back, we have to think about the foundations and we have to think about the soil first. So if we kind of narrow this down, I narrowed it down into 7 foundations of hormonal balance. Not that everyone has to dive into all of these, but some people will really find like, what are your like 3 to 5 non-negotiables, the biggest ones that are a gap for you, right? So number 1 of these foundational hormone balance, I'm going to kind of roll through them relatively quickly, just so that we can hopefully not get this IG live to crash on us again. Number 1 of our foundations obviously has to be nourishment. And when I say nourishment, I mean the building blocks for every single cell, every bone, every muscle, every ligament, every hormone in your body is made up of what we eat. Sorry, not sorry, right? So when we eat every day, our body is looking for X amount of protein, X amount of fiber, X amount of vitamins and minerals, right? It's not counting calories. It's looking for X amount of nutrients and specific substrates. So nourishment has to be number 1. We have to reframe how we view the way and the why behind what we eat. Number 2 is blood sugar balance. So on top of our body looking for particular building blocks, our body is also looking to control inflammation by navigating blood sugar balance. When we eat, what we eat, how we pair foods together is probably one of the most controllable pieces of inflammation that we have within our power. So when individuals talk about, yeah, I feel inflamed, I feel puffy, or my doctor said it's just because of inflammation, the number 1 thing you should be looking at is your blood sugar, and that's going to go back to your nutrition. Again, little shameless plug, if you find that these first 2 foundations have been like, ooh, I don't know much about my building blocks and my nourishment, and I definitely think I have some blood sugar issues, either blood sugar highs, blood sugar lows, those 2 foundations are the key foundations that I'm going to be talking about and discussing in my Master Your Metabolism 6-week functional nutritional reset. We kick off January 6th, so if you haven't signed up yet, make sure you get your spot for that, because that will be like hormone balance foundations at its finest there. Number 3 is going to be stress management. Now, there's lots of things that kind of fall under stress management. I'm not talking about the uncontrollable stressors. It's life. We're going to need some tools to manage and handle the uncontrollable stressors, but I'm talking about more a body that's chronically stuck in fight or flight. A body that's chronically stuck in fight or flight energy burns more carbs for fuel, and they're less metabolically flexible, hence a lot of metabolic disease that pops up from stress. So a lot of times these dysregulated stress patterns can lead to weight gain and interrupted sleep, brain fog, libido changes, appetite changes, period problems, decreased energy and motivation, even depression and anxiety. So I tend to see like the number 1 marker for chronic stress is waking up without a morning appetite or not waking up hungry. Sign that you're swimming in stress hormones there. Number 4 foundation, quality sleep. I know that we talk about this so much, but there's just so much healing power in sleep and learning how to protect bedtime boundaries and really navigate the optimal sleep cycle. I talk a lot about how much of our sleep should be REM sleep versus deep sleep, setting bedtime boundaries, and really making sure that we're managing metabolic health from the inside out with quality sleep. Also, fun fact, they've found through multiple research studies that even just 1 week of disrupted sleep patterns, meaning less than 6 hours a night, 1 week, caused these participants to eat more than 400 calories a day, more than their non-sleep deprived counterparts. So tell me that that's not a good weight management and calorie balance tool as well too, right? Number 5 is movement. We have to get daily movement. This has to be customized for each individual person. I don't want someone not moving their body enough, but I also don't want someone over exercising for their overall hormone or stress needs as well too. Making sure that we're working in a combination of resistance training, especially with age. We're going to want that like more than ever. Number 6 is going to be gut health. Love me a good gut health conversation. Nothing impacts your hormone balance more than your gut health, right? And what impacts your gut health? I don't know, what I eat, when I eat, how I eat it, right? So there's kind of this full circle moment here that we can't talk about hormones without talking about your gut, and we can't talk about your gut without talking about your food. So very, very closely connected here. I would say the most common issues that I see with individuals that are struggling with hormonal imbalance symptoms because of gut issues is going to be like poor digestive capacity, like low stomach acid, sluggish bile production, maybe some dysbiosis or some leaky gut, either due to inflammation, food sensitivities, and things like that as well too. And then number 7, closely tied to gut health, but a little bit separate, is going to be our liver detoxification pathways. The liver literally is the unsung hero of the body. I love talking about the liver because most people don't have a really great concept of what that looks like or feels like, especially individuals that are sensitive to different like chemicals, like smells. If they find themselves sensitive to smells, sensitive to chemicals, sensitive skin, easily get a headache with candles or fragrances in the room, you probably have liver congestion issues. Or if you're sensitive to caffeine or alcohol, probably have liver issues as well too. So I see a lot of like overburdened liver with endocrine disrupting chemicals, depleted nutrients, high cortisol, so high stress, not a good detoxer, or even just different genetic SNPs that can contribute to poor detoxification as well too. So signs of this is like, your endometriosis patterns, your fibroid patterns, your PMS patterns, your estrogen dominant type symptoms, definite liver issues here, right? So when I think about this concept of hormone balance is not about adding more hormones. That's like the last thing that should be on our list. It's more like, how am I preparing the soil first, or at least at the same time, right? Using those therapies in conjunction. We're not just going to be able to put supplements, prescriptions, hormones, peptides, anything, glandulars into a body and just keep going on our merry way and act like hormone balance is going to automatically correct itself. It's like, that's not functional medicine. You just got duped. If that is your thought on what functional medicine has to offer, or if that's what you have been offered through functional medicine, it's like, oh, I went and did a test and they gave me supplements and set me on my way. I'm like, you got greenwashed. Or, oh, they did some labs and told me what foods to avoid and put a hormone or put a peptide in put a pellet in my butt and I walked out the door. It's like, that wasn't functional medicine. Like, I'm sorry, like you got duped, right? So we have to be very, I think, discerning of some of these, especially going into 2024, because everybody is trying to like kind of monetize that, but really all it is conventional medicine greenwashed under a functional medicine model, which is pretty sad. So know that these foundations, whether it's nourishment, blood sugar balance, stress management, quality sleep, movement, gut health, and liver detoxification, those are the most underutilized prescriptions that we have access to. And I think especially starting with the food piece is something that's a game changer for individuals. So I'll leave you guys today with just a little bit of, like I said, a plug for my Master Your Metabolism Masterclass. It's my 6-week functional nutrition reset course. It's kicking off on January 6th. If you haven't claimed your spot yet, claim your spot yet. This is going to be us really setting the foundation and fixing the soil of the body so that we can really start to think about what that looks like to truly balance your hormones and empower you with a whole different system and relationship with food going into 2024 and honestly for the rest of your life. So get ready to learn everything you've never been taught about nutrition, because that's exactly what I've been told about this Master Your Metabolism course. So hope to see many of you guys there. Thank you for putting up with technology issues of my Learn with Flo, and I'm praying and we're fingers crossing, good vibes, good energy that this records. So have a blessed week, have a very Merry Christmas, and we'll see you guys next week.